Just bringing the chat up on my iPad just so that I can see all the comments. Right. So I've got the chat on my iPad. So today we are doing a 4-inch, it's an ombre drip cake basically, and it's Biscoff flavoured, but it's also got Biscoff like biscuits. It's got lint on it, which I forgot because in the image that she sent me of one of my cakes, you can barely see the gold lint in it. So I didn't notice that it was in there. So I'm going to go and get that later. So I'm going to leave a little gap on the cake for a few pieces of lint. It's only a 4-inch, so it's not going to have as much space for it. But yeah, so I will be leaving that off. But apart from that, I need to make a topper later as well. But I'll do that off of the live. But yeah, everything else we got, it's got some bottles on it. I've just got some orange juice. I was a little bit late because I was finishing my dinner, which I didn't actually finish. But yeah, so hello to everyone that's joining. So happy you're live. I've been waiting so I can ask you a question. Oh, bless you. Feel free to ask now because I need to, all the buttercream's made, I just need to put it in piping bags so we have a little bit of time. My iPad is showing it very blurry, so I apologise if it is blurry. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi. So let me know if yours is blurry, and then I will double check on my phone if I need to change anything before we get started. Yeah, is it blurry? Let me know, and then I can always try and sort it out on my phone quickly. Right, let me double check. I don't know if that's any blurry. Yeah, it's blurry. Why is it blurry? My Wi-Fi has been terrible today, so I think that's got something to do with it. Let me turn off the Wi-Fi and then turn it back on. Fingers crossed I don't lose you all. We're still a bit blurry, so hopefully it'll get better. Right, I'm gonna bag up this buttercream and hopefully the blurriness will stop because that's annoying. Right. Hi Decadent Desserts, hi Denise, hi Susie. I've been asked to supply brownies to a cafe. I'm really excited but not sure about pricing. So usually when you're supplying to, basically when you're supplying to anyone, they do expect it cheaper than your normal pricing because they will then add a profit. I would discuss it with them, if I'm honest. I would say that that's the best way because you don't want to give them a price and then they say, oh, that's not a high enough profit for us if we were to add more onto that price, and then they just say like, no, we won't bother. So I would give them a price range and maybe say, I'm looking for this amount, but I'm willing to negotiate. And then if they say we absolutely can't do that, then at least you know you've got a bit of leeway to kind of like backtrack a bit and lessen it. So not sure how much to charge for a slab of loaded Kinder Brownies. I usually sell them for £2.50 a brownie and get 12 out of a slab. Would you charge them for? I would say that you at least have to charge them for £2. That's like the highest, I would say, just because cafes expect it cheaper. I think when I looked into it, most people will charge like £1.50, that kind of thing. But obviously it's also what you want. Like, don't sell yourself short. If you want more than that, then that's fine. You can ask for more. But if you're happy to take less, then that's also fine. So it really just depends, one, how much you want, and two, like make sure that you can make it for that cost, if that makes sense. So like make sure you're not losing any money by doing it cheaper. But yeah, supplying to cafes is very difficult because I never know how to price it. And I never did it because they wanted my recipes, so I was like, I'm not giving you those. But as long as you're making it outside of their cafe, then you'll be fine. This one wanted me to make it in-house, so I was like, well, I'm not doing that because they wanted the recipe. Oh no, dropping buttercream everywhere. Is public liability insurance necessary or is it optional? I don't want it to affect my home insurance or mortgage, that's all. As far as I'm aware, it shouldn't affect your home insurance or mortgage because it's separate. You do need it. It is it's not labeled as like compulsory, but it is, because basically what it covers you for is if someone was to have, say, an allergic reaction to your bakes, that would be what it covers you for. So if you don't have it, then you're not going to be covered. So that's why you have to have it, because obviously someone could not tell you they have an allergy, and then when you give them a product that has that allergen in it, they have an allergic reaction and you're not covered. So that's why you have to be very careful when you're dealing with food, because there's like, some people are terrible. Some people, you know, there's people where I've had a cake and right until the last minute, bearing in mind I'd already asked them whether there were any allergies, all of that kind of stuff, and then it literally got to where they'd paid a deposit, and then they said, oh, actually someone's just confirmed that there are allergies. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, but I did ask you, and depending on the allergy, you can't necessarily cater for it because of like cross-contamination. So that's why it's so risky, because some people always forget to mention allergens. So it's just always good to have the insurance. How did you get insurance? I am with Simply Business. It is £16 a month, but that's because I pay more because I do markets, and markets you have to be covered up to 5 million, whereas if you're just doing home baking and not for any markets, then you can just do the up to 1 million cover. So yeah, but markets, it's compulsory to have 5. So if you want to do any markets, you have to have insurance. They always ask for proof of that. Well, they should, anyway. Some of them might not, but they should. Right. I'm just bagging all of this up. In regards to the quality, it's got a bit better, but just make sure that you are selecting the highest, like, quality. I'm also just going to wipe the camera just in case. I don't think that's much better, but it's fine. Right, we're just bagging up this buttercream, and then we will be, so I've got one which is Biscoff, because obviously it is a Biscoff flavoured cake, but this one is just plain, and that is because it needs to be white. So in order for it to be white, it can't be Biscoff flavoured, because otherwise it will change colour. It's Simply Business, and it's called public liability insurance. So yeah, that's what you need to have. I think Simply Business was the cheapest out of all of them. Some of them were like ridiculous amounts. Hey Amy, new here to your channel and loving it. Your videos are super informative, so thank you. Thank you. I'm doing a live tomorrow as well, by the way, tomorrow evening, because I've got another cake to do. Right. So Right. It's still blurry. That's really annoying. Let me try and... I've just reset all of my connections again. Again, I don't think it's going to make a difference, but unfortunately we don't have time to wait. So I'm just going to get on with it, but hopefully it will be less blurry soon. Here it is. So, 4-inch cake. Oh, we're better. It's not blurry. It isn't on my iPad, so I hope it's not for you. So usually everyone asks how tall it is. So right, it's 8 inches tall and 4 inches wide for reference. Right, so it's got a Biscoff crumb coat, as you can see. If anyone's curious, I'm wearing the new match. It's got my birthday cake on it. I think I can hear that oven, so I'm just going to check that. Okay. Yeah, it's much better. Good. Perfect. Also, look, I organised my section in the back here. So I've got my 3, containers, and then I've got some ice in there, and then I got my second machine over there because I don't use it all the time. I only use it when I'm super busy. So and then that's just my mum's ironing, so blame Jules Craft Room for that, because if she is watching she will know that it's hers. So yeah, how do you decorate a 4-inch that whilst he's open? And then what I'll do is, as I talk, we will discuss. So you might be able to see, but there's a little circle in the middle, which is actually where I doweled it because I was in a rush. Usually I stack it and then I crumb coat it straight away, shove it in the fridge, and we're done. But because it was wobbly, I had to dowel it. Mainly it depends on what you have in it. This has Biscoff spread melted in it, which acts the same as jam, which just makes it slide around everywhere. So yeah, it was sliding around everywhere, so I had to dowel it. But the dowel isn't in it anymore. I don't leave the dowel in it. I only do that. I literally did it while I decorated, and then before I put it in the fridge, I took the dowel out because I don't like having dowels in single tier cakes. I don't think it's necessary. It's only if they're really like slipping around, which this one was. But like I say, it's not necessary. Usually what I do is stack it and then put it in the fridge with 4-inch. Then it means that the inside will like set, and then you can come back and do the actual outside crumb coat. So I don't like do a full crumb coat, if that makes sense, because otherwise it's just too wobbly. Where do you get the big blue piping bags from? They're from Amazon, and they come on a roll of 100. So yeah, where's my tea towel? Hi Rihanna, I think that's how you say your name. Sorry if I pronounce anyone's names wrong, I'm terrible at pronunciation. So, because it's ombre, we have done the bottom section, and then now we're just doing some white. Just sorted out my insurance. Is it public liability you need for baking at home? Yes, public liability, because it basically means you're selling to the public. So yeah, it includes customers. I think it includes employees as well. If you have like a shop, then you have to have slightly different stuff. But yeah, just for at home, that's all you need. How do you mean time? I assume. How was your time at the festival? It was very, very good. I had a lovely, lovely time. It was so much fun. We saw Post Malone, Kid Laroi, Two Door Cinema Club. Who else? Yeah, there were so many good people there. Absolutely loved it. When you have your home inspection, do you need to have filled out paperwork or just show you have it? So they usually ask you want to have it filled out. Yeah, I had all of my like spreadsheets printed just because my office used to be my bedroom, whereas now I've got a separate office to my bedroom, so I obviously didn't want them going into my bedroom to look through the computer because I don't have a laptop. Now they would have just been able to go into the office. Do you find the metal turntable to be better than the plastic one, or you've just always worked with metal one? I used to have a plastic one, and it used to annoy me, mainly because it doesn't turn as smooth. This one is a lot smoother than the other one, and also this one's taller, and because I'm quite tall, I prefer working on something that is taller. Sorry, the signal is so bad. It's really annoying. Yeah, apologies because are we on? Are people on? I can't get my iPad, so I don't know whether it's working. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? My signal is so bad. Right. I think we're back. Okay. I'm hoping that this is working now. It kept on cutting out. Right. I know it's blurry, but where's the front? Here we go. So that's what the cake looks like so far. So we've done the ombre. Because I'm copying a style I've done before. It's a cake that I've made loads of times that people really like, so I'm copying it. And I never do the ombre halfway. I think it looks better only going part way up, because by the time you've got the white drip on there, that all drips to about here, so it just looks better in the fridge quickly. Right, we need right. We are melting chocolate now, so put that in there. Right, apologies for the angle. We are moving to the microwave. So right, how is our signal doing? Right, if anyone has any questions, now is the time to ask, because we're microwaving, so. Right, so I'm using white chocolate spread. Very hard to get hold of. I actually need to go and try and buy some more because I'm using so much of it at the moment. But they only do it in certain Tesco's. So I'm hoping that if I go to, it's like the Tring Road Tesco's, like my area, obviously it makes sense. For anyone else, it won't make sense. But it's like one Tesco's out of, I think, about 4 in my area, and it's the only one that does it. And also Tesco's seems to be the only one that does it, like white chocolate spread. Haven't found any other supermarket in my area that does white chocolate. I've seen stuff about Asda and Morrison's, but I can't find any in my local ones. Have you ever ordered from J.M. Posner before? I haven't. I have seen their white chocolate spread on there, and I do need to order it. I just keep forgetting. It's sort of thing where, like, this is nearby, so I just out of habit do it. I also need, because my dad used to work as a postman. He gets discount at Costco, and we've been meaning to sign up for ages, and we haven't. So I'm hoping that we can do that soon. I'm gonna remind them. I'm reminding them today, but I'm gonna remind them because we've got a skip coming. So we will be just like getting rid of any rubbish, and I'm gonna add a few drawer units to my office since we're getting the skip. Basically, my current desk in my office is like a worktop on top of some shelves, but like floor shelves, not like wall shelves. So what we're going to do is put this worktop on top of 2 items in the office. But yeah, once we get that skip, then I have more storage, and then I can store bulk ingredients. So then I want to start ordering or like shopping in Costco, because it's like more cost effective to shop there. But yeah, so then I'll see what they have. I thought that I can do some like Costco hauls, because there might be stuff that you guys don't know exists and it's in there. And obviously Costco is something that everyone can get a membership for if you want to. Whereas things like, I think there's other stores that you can get a membership for, but obviously I think you have to prove that you're business for some of them. So if you're like a hobby baker, you might not want to go there. But yeah, and there's obviously loads of like stuff in bulk in Costco, so you can buy bulk chocolates, all that kind of stuff. So all like Kinder Bueno, all of that you can buy in bulk. So yes, I will be shopping there hopefully soon, because I will have the space to store everything. I'm sure that I'm getting stuff all over my elbow because I keep elbowing stuff. I had buttercream on this arm, and then I think I got chocolate spread on this one. Right. So it's very nice and melted. I did it for 2 lots of 20 seconds, and then I get a stir in between that. But yeah, make sure you don't do it for longer than 20 seconds, because I find that that's a bit too much if you go any longer than that in one sitting. And yeah, it's just the Tesco's one. And as you can see, it's very runny. What I do is I pour it from here, unless I'm actually colouring it, and then unless there's like a little bit in there and I'm colouring it in the jar, I will use it in the jar, because otherwise it's waste. You're going to pour it into a bowl, you're never going to get the right measurement, I always get it wrong, and then you end up wasting it. Whereas if you do it out the jar, as long as you're not touching the cake, so I use a spatula, so I don't like use the spoon that I'm putting back in, so I don't touch the cake at all, because yeah, otherwise you're going to like contaminate. So I use a spatula or a separate spoon to push it over the edge, otherwise you're not going to contaminate the jar. So we've got our cake. So I'm going to pan you down. There we go. So what I'm going to do is just pour this on there, and then use a spatula or a spoon, whichever you're more comfortable with. Right. So that's where we are with the drip. As you can see, it's nice and random. That's the way that I like it. So we need to pick which side is the front. I think I'm going to go for here. I think. Just checking. It seems to be the same space all the way around. Right. So I'm just going to check on my iPad. Just checking what the piping's like on this cake. I'm just mixing the leftovers. So what I do when I do ombre is I take the two colours and then I just mix them together so that there's no waste. So we then need the piping bag. So using the Wilton 2D and just a 6-point star nozzle. Right. Just gonna wash my hands quickly. Right, so for sprinkles, it's obviously Sprinkler UK as usual. So we're using the gold rods, the mini gold pearls. So these are the smallest size. I think it's like 0.2 millimeter, something like that. And then we got the next size up. Again, gold balls. Then we have the white pearls, and then we've got the large white pearls. I think these are maybe 6 millimeter. So we're going to put these on first and just basically randomly. Some of them you have to throw if you want them to get on the side. And then right, that's the gold ones. Then we're going to go in with some white. Alright, we're going to do the pie on the top. Oh no, there's a hole in the side of my bag. And then we're going to cover the board as well. And then I always do that and it's really annoying. I always cut it the slightest bit too big. But I'm just gonna try and I'll have to hold it because I'm not cutting another bag. Right, so the piping is all done. Not that you can see it because it's so blurry. So, Catherine. Hi Amy, hope you're okay. Have you got any orders to do for the rest of this week to keep you busy? I've got a cake to do tomorrow, which I'll actually like start tomorrow, but I've got a wedding tomorrow and Saturday in the morning, so like I'm doing this cake tonight but going out tomorrow morning, but I'm at the wedding tomorrow morning, so that's got to be done tonight, if that makes sense. And then tomorrow's cake has to be done tomorrow night because I'm at a wedding on Saturday, because I'm doing hair and makeup with my sister, so I'll be assisting her on that because I do that in my spare time, basically. So yeah, I will be doing that. So that will take up kind of the rest of my week, and then Sunday I'll probably just chill out. I've already got some postals for Monday, so Sunday I will have to do Monday's postals or at least prep them, but that's usually not until the afternoon. So yes, that is what I'll be up to. Right, we're going to start packing everything on. So I'm just going to go around the edge of the bottom board with some of the little white pearls just to go over the buttercream. And then I'm just adding some sprinkles . Right, so we've got plenty to go on this. So it's obviously Biscoff themed, so there's a lot of Biscoff related things. So we've got Milky Bar buttons, Milky Bar, then we have white chocolate fingers, we've got the Biscoff circular biscuits, then we've also got the actual standard Biscoff biscuits. Then they have some bottles, so these were purchased by the customer. So we've got 2 original Baileys, and then we've got 2 coffee flavoured Baileys. So these are going on this as well, and then we've also got some macaroons. So we need a little dish for the macaroons. I went on a mission to find those Biscoff circle biscuits. Everywhere was sold out. Oh my god. Try post offices. I find that One Stop, which is like my local post office, and that's like a normal post office. I mean, I take all my postals to the actual like depot in town, but there's like a local post office, and they always have loads of these, so that's where I buy them from. Right, I'm going to just bring up the image on my phone, just so that on my iPad, sorry, so I know what I'm working from. These have massive stickers on that, which are really annoying. All of them? No, just 2 of them. These giant stickers on the back, which I don't want on there. Right, so we've got the original, so I think I'm gonna put a mix. Do I want that behind? No. Right. Where's the front? Oh, for God's sake, I've put them on the wrong bit. So annoying. I need to move them. Actually, I think I'm just going to make that the front. Yeah, that's going to be the new front. So because it's smaller than the other one, we're going to have to squeeze bits on. And then these two, we're just going to put on the sides. Right, so you're done. Here we go. I wish I could see the cake better. I know, it's so annoying. I'm literally gonna have to say something about the Wi-Fi, I think. We need to sort it out because the Wi-Fi is not great normally. So yeah, that's really annoying. And I have a feeling it won't be that great. So apologies for that because it's really annoying me. But unfortunately, that is Virgin Media for you. They are terrible. I mean, they all are, but like, that's the one that I'm with, so I obviously can only speak for them. So I'm using the Cake Decor luster. This is the gold one. I get it from either Poundland or the Range. That's where they stock it. I'm with Virgin too, and they're rubbish. I know, literally. I think, but I might take the initiative to call them up myself, because obviously no one else in my family probably minds because they're not doing the lives. So yeah, I think I might have to call them up because it is a pain. Right, let me have a quick go to see if I can sort this out because the cake's done, so then at least I can show you what it looks like whilst it's done. So yeah, let me have a quick refresh. I'm just seeing whether it's like I'm turning stuff on and on to see whether it gets any better. That's a little bit better. Oh, okay, right, quickly, whilst... Oh, they're very wobbly. It's because it's got all the bottles on it, so it's quite heavy. Right, this is what it looks like. So, yeah. So that is the cake. We've actually done this in an hour. Like, that's shocking. That is very quick. So yeah, as much as you couldn't see it before, this is it now. So at least you can see it. But yeah, I turned off my 3G and then the Wi-Fi seemed to be better. So I don't quite know what happened there, but yeah. So that is the top. It's got the Baileys on it. I've left a couple of spaces just to add a few lint balls, but I need to go and buy those quickly. But the Tesco's is literally at the end of my road, basically. So I'm just going to run and get gold lint. And then I'm going to add it in a space at the front. As you can see, there's a little gap in between the bottles. And then there's also a space at the back of the board in the middle. And then I might see if I can squeeze one on the top, but I doubt it. But yeah, so that is the finished product. If anyone has any last minute questions, ask now because this is going back in the fridge. Right. There was a spare macaroon, so I'm going to eat that myself now that we're all finished. And then I need to finish eating my dinner as well because I didn't actually finish it. It's so annoying that the quality is so good now. Like, why didn't it do this earlier? I'm hoping... I doubt it. I bet when we watch it back it will be bad, like up until this point, but yeah. I don't know. Right, so this needs charging. When's the next live? It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. Obviously, now I know to turn off my 3G. I'll obviously try that tomorrow and hopefully it'll work the same as it is now because it's working fine now, which is really annoying. But yeah, better luck tomorrow. Fingers crossed. I don't think you're meant to drink this much orange juice, but I've literally drank this in about an hour. I just love orange juice. Right. So, I think I'm going to love you and leave you, unless you want to see me making the topper, because we've got a bit of time. So, if anyone would like to just stay on the live with me whilst I make the topper, feel free to say now. Because I need to make a happy anniversary topper on the Cricut. And I need to eat my dinner. Okay, people want to stay on. Okay. Let me just put these chocolates in the drawer, just so that it's a little bit tidier in here. And then I think what I'm going to do is, while I'm tidying up, I might go on TikTok live, because I doubt that people will... I'm late, I'm always late. To be fair, the quality was terrible, Verity, so yeah, literally until right now, where the quality is good, I had my 3G and my Wi-Fi on, and it seems like the 3G was just messing with the quality because it was terrible, like blurry, terrible as usual. And then as soon as I turn off the 3G, it's working perfectly now and you can actually see me. So yeah, you didn't probably miss much because we couldn't actually see me, which is great. So right, I had to get my order book so that I knew what I was typing in. So hello, we're going into my mum's craft room, and I will warn you, she would hate me to say this, but it's a bomb site, and that's in the nicest possible way, but that's because it's a craft room, so it's going to be messy because there's lots of crafts going on. But just so that if anyone says it's messy, it's not me, it's not my room. The Cricut is my mum's Cricut, but I use it for my cake toppers, even though she bought it. So I buy all the card for it, and I bought some new mats and stuff for it, but yeah, I just use hers. As you can see, there's like 5 sewing machines in here as well. We do love a sewing machine in this house. I have to look at the chat on here, so please bear with if I'm a little bit late. Hi Ash, loving the scrunchie, defo need one of those in my life. Oh, I love them, I'm obsessed. One, they're such a nice item to sew, if anyone actually sews, which you might not, but when you're like sewing items, there's items that are nice to make and items that are just a pain, and scrunchies are such a nice item to make, so I really enjoy making them and I love wearing them. So I've also found so many nice fabrics which are like cake related, so I'm trying to refrain from buying literally every fabric out there. But yeah, so this is the XL, that's why it's so big, but because my hair is so long, I quite like the XL. It also looks really nice. I've seen people that have bobs, where it's like a short bob, and they do like a half up, half down. And again, with the XL, it just looks really nice because it's very oversized. But then I also do sometimes wear the minis, if it's like a plait or something where you don't want the scrunchie to be crazy big. But yeah, I love them. So right, we are bringing up the Cricut, and what I'm going to do is I will turn you around so that you can see what I'm doing on the Cricut. I have a lot of hair, so I think I'll order the XLs. Yeah, that's like they've both got the same amount of elastic. The minis have 1 inch less, but it's not like they've got a lot less elastic, and the elastic is what goes round your hair, so you can still put your hair in the minis. But I feel like when you've got really thick hair, especially like mine, like as you can see, there's so much of it, I feel like the XL suits the really long, thick hair more. But then obviously I wanted to do the minis for, especially when I do half up, half down, I don't want an XL scrunchie, so then I can use the minis. But at the moment we've got 4 fabrics, but I've seen so many. But yeah, I'm trying to refrain from buying too many because obviously I want to get the ball rolling and like be selling them before I go absolutely crazy. But yeah, people seem to be liking the scrunchie so far, so that's good. Right, I'm going to turn you around. So I'm going to place you in front of the computer. I think, as you can see, my mum's got like if anyone's, I feel like I should do a little like shameless plug here, but if anyone is into crafting, go and follow Jules Craft Room. She's on YouTube, but she sews all of these items. So we've got a Luna lampin, or lapin, don't know how it's pronounced, and you make little clothes for the Luna, and then she's got matching clothes for my nieces and nephews, so it goes with their teddy. It's really cute. But yeah, if you're into crafting, go and check her out because she does lots of sewing videos. So sewing, crochet, knitting, all that jazz. Right, I'm going to turn you around, just setting up so you can see the screen. Right, is this going to work? I'm just changing the angle. This is very difficult, apologies. Trying to get this to the right angle so that you can actually see what I'm doing is actually fairly difficult. Right, I think that's fine. So, right. So you go to text, then your little box comes up down here. Right. It's further down, it's down here, but you can tell that there's a box there basically. So then you just type what you want. So we want happy 5th anniversary. And my favourite font, which I use for literally every topper unless they specify like a thick font or something like that, but if they don't specify, then I always use this. And it is Double Whipped, which is this one. Mainly because half of the letters are joined together, so it means that it makes your life a lot easier because I don't have to sit there joining them all together, because as you can see, the only ones that aren't joined are the capital letters. So what you do is you ungroup and then you just move the letters as you wish. So you just have to move these two basically because all the others are already joined. And then I think it looks better to have the TH or the, you know, like 5th, the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd. I feel like the letters look better small. So I always make them a little bit smaller because the standard for the font is that they're the same size and I think it looks weird. So then you group each word together, which means that you can then move the words around freely, which we love. And then you need to make sure it's all joining. If it's not joining, then you're going to have a very like wobbly topper, because what you need to understand is the more bits that join, so say like all of that joined, this bit would be very strong because it's all joined. Whereas if you have like a teeny bit that's joined, then this and this is going to be very flappy, which we're going to have that issue with this. So what I will probably do is, I don't know, I might make the anniversary slightly smaller just so that it's not so disproportionate. I usually make that bigger, and then that means that it will touch more letters. We actually need to move that over just a tad. So I'm just going to double check the spelling because I obviously don't want to spell it wrong. So I'm just making sure anniversary is spelt that way. Right. Anniversary, double N. Anniversary, double N. Perfect. So we're going to go with that. And it's a 4-inch cake, so you can't have it crazy big, otherwise it's just going to obviously look too in your face. I am going to make that slightly bigger. So you can unlock here, which means that instead of it means you can go like this, you can go like that. Whereas usually it's like you can only pull corner to corner, you can't drag it down like that. So with this, I just want to long out the words a little bit. And then I'm just going to do the same with this one. And then I'm joining it by the P's in both places. Right, it's a 4-inch cake, so I don't really want to go any bigger than 4 inches. So, to give you an idea, we're going to go for gold. It doesn't look as orange as it does in this light, but that's what we're using. And to give you an idea, 4 inches is 4 of these squares, which is actually plenty big, but it just looks tiny on here. So then you need to weld. Welding is down in this corner. So you need to press weld. And then that means that it doesn't move the letters. Because although they're grouped, if you don't weld it, it will put your H over here, your A over there. And then when you go to make it, it won't make it right. So then you click make, which is in the top right corner. And then you move it around. Basically, we've got the strong grip. I would not recommend the strong grip because, as you can see, everything is just hard to get off of here. In terms of card, I need to actually pick those off, but I wouldn't recommend the strong grip. I'd recommend the medium, which is the green one. But we obviously bought these, so we're using these. But basically, the reason that you can move it around is because 1, you can have multiple cuts, and 2, I use it for, like, say this bottom corner is more sticky than this corner, then I can move it to the bottom corner. But yeah, these mats, because they're strong grip, everything sticks to them. So as you can see, we've got teeny tiny bits of paper all over it, which are very difficult to get out. And you have this little picker tool, which we can use to get these bits off, as you can see. But all the little bits is such faff to get off because it's so strong. Like, it's literally the strongest mat they do, and I bought it by accident, but I spent £20 on these mats, so I was going to use them even if it meant that they were ridiculously strong. So yeah, they are very difficult to get off, so I do not recommend the strong grip because it's a pain. Get the green ones, which we do have the green ones, but the grip has gone on them, so they no longer grip. Right, I'm just scraping off these bits. I'm going to put it in that corner. I'm just moving all of these bits from when I did butterflies the other day. Right, so we're having an issue with ours. It's usually Bluetooth, but we have to plug it in, so you don't normally have to do that. And then here is where the cricket is. So you take your card and you just place it down. This is going to move a little bit because the mat isn't that sticky. So you press the little arrow button here, that moves it in, and that kind of like locks it in. It's not very sticky at all. Let me see. Right, so plug it in. If I can find the plug. Right. So that is all set up there. And then what you need to do here is it will buffer while it's connecting. Just wait for it to connect. So you need to set the material. It obviously depends on what you're using. So we have like some favorited ones. So we always use glitter cardstock. So this basically means how thick is it going to cut. So glitter cardstock is usually quite hard to cut because of all the glitter. So that's why I always go for this one, because then I know that it's going to actually cut all the way through the card, because obviously there's different GSMs. So I always go for that one. And on the actual machine, it's just set to custom. So as you can see, it's set to custom there. So that's like the setting that we have it at on there, and then you can select it on the computer. And then you literally, it's automatically selected the blade because it's standard. We always use the fine point. And then you just press go on your machine, basically. So let's move you here. As you can see, that light is flashing in the middle. That is your go button. So I'm going to have to hold it because it's not that sticky. I'll move you back. But usually I just leave it to it whilst I'm finishing stuff. But because this one isn't very sticky today, I'm going to hold it. And you just lightly hold it. You're not actually like, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just pressing down so it doesn't slip at all. We're currently at 20%. I find the first bit goes slow, the first like 50%, which is where it's doing all the intricate cutting. And then as soon as it gets to 50%, it's just doing the outline, so that's usually a lot quicker. We're at 55% now. It's going to be a very intricate one, but that's because it's for a small cake, so unfortunately you can't have it very big, otherwise it's just going to be crazy big on a small cake. So you just press the little arrow to get it to come back out. So I'm hoping that didn't do it as two separate. It did. Why did it do that? They were connected on here. Sometimes it does that. It does its own. There was like a slight gap in between the letters. So what it does is it cuts them out separately. Right, I'm going to turn you back round so that you can see what I'm doing. Was that machine a lot? I didn't buy it. My mum did, because as you can see, we are in a very sophisticated craft room, so there's a lot of machinery in here. I'm going to have to connect that somehow. I believe it was maybe like 200, 250. I feel like that's about right. But you can probably buy them secondhand for cheaper. But we bought ours. I think she got it from Hobbycraft when I worked there, I'm pretty sure. Which meant that there was like a huge discount on it. But yes, I'm hoping we don't have to do this again, because it cut off part of the. It's only 9 o'clock, which is very good. We are doing amazing for time today. This is very intricate, so it's going to be very flimsy. Yeah, it did it as separate. Why did it do that? That's the thing. Sometimes it can be annoying if it does stupid things like that, where it cuts a word in half. Do you ever use acrylic toppers? I do, but I can't make acrylic. You probably can on the Cricut. I know you can do like wood ones, you can do all these fancy ones, but one, it's not worth it for me in terms of like time, because it's going to take me longer than these do. These take me, if I'm not on live, these usually take me, I think we came in here at about 1:45, so it's only taken about 15 minutes. They don't take very long, as long as everything goes to plan. But the acrylic ones, because you're using a different material, you have to have different blades on your Cricut, which means that you actually pay more, because you have to buy different blades for your machine, because mine only go through card and paper, and I think they go through like felt and stuff, but they're not meant for like, I don't know. I think acrylic ones, you have to have a different one. I know we've got one for wood, but it's very thin, like plywood. It's nothing like really thick. But yeah, I think for acrylic ones, you have to have a different blade, which would then incur more costs. So for me, it's not actually worth it. Oh, he's broken. Right, we need to try and fix this topper, because he's currently in 2 pieces. So we have skewers, which are kept up there, and then we have double-sided tape in about 1,000 different sizes, depending on what size you need. So I'm going to use the double-sided tape to hopefully stitch this guy back together. So, to be fair, it's actually very good that I'm done early, because my wedding tomorrow is at 6 AM, I think is when I have to leave, which then means that I need to actually be up for at least 5:30. So yeah, that's why I need to go to bed early. So I'm hoping that the cake will be all boxed up by 9:30, and then I can oh, I've stuck that wrong, for God's sake. Yeah, and then I can be in bed and like get ready for bed early. So a couple of inches. So what you then do is put your double-sided tape on the back of your skewer. Oh, concentration. Oh, do I ever buy them from a seller? Yeah. So if I obviously don't make the top myself, if they particularly want an acrylic one, then I just buy it off Etsy. So I just tell them it's like £10 or however much it is. I always send people screenshots because I find that customers, like, if they don't believe you when you say that it's a certain amount, then at least you can just send them a screenshot. So I do that with mine. I just screenshot someone's thing on Etsy and I just say, here's the topper. This is how much it is, so that they know that I'm not just like coming up with a random amount. Right, so this is very flimsy, but that's okay. She's a mini. Perfect. So, happy 5th anniversary. It will obviously be flipped for you guys. But yeah, it will be the right way around. Yeah, she's a little bit flimsy. I think I might see if I can move it over. I've stuck that on now, so I can't move it. Can I? Oh, no. Today is not my day. He's bending, as you can see, because the cricket cut him in half. So, I think I'm gonna put another cocktail stick on it. So, right, we just cut that and it flipped everywhere. Right, so I had someone ask for a cake. I was excited. I said £50 for an 8-inch purple ombre cake with piping on top, and she said she would only spend 20. I was so upset, not sure if I should have said yes. No, never do a cake for that little. Never. Doesn't matter what your skill set is, that is too low. If she wants a cake for 20 quid, she can go and buy it in Tesco's. You can buy drip cakes in Tesco's for £20, but do not, it's not worth it. An 8-inch cake costs you at least £18 in ingredients. It is not worth you doing it for 20 quid because you would make no money, absolutely no money. Yeah, an 8-inch cake will, because I've got a costing sheet, and 6-inch cakes is standard. This is with no like pricing of toppings or anything, but the ingredients for a 6-inch cake is £14. For a 4-inch cake, I think it's £8. And then for an 8-inch cake, it's 18. That's what I worked out. So yeah, you would have made no money. It's not worth it. Yeah, because that is ridiculous. That is also what you got to remember is people will try their luck. Like, if she's probably got a higher budget, but she thought, well, if I say that I wanted it for 20 quid and they say yes, then I've got it for 20 quid. But quite frankly, if you've said that something is 50, it's not a bartering, like, you're not at a market, like, it's a business. So what they need to remember, and if they can't honour that, then that's their own fault, is that you obviously need to make a living. So yeah, they shouldn't, if you say 50, they shouldn't then go, well, will you take 20? Because that's not how it works. So yeah, never ever take less than what you want. Take what you want, and if they won't pay it, someone else will. As like, I know that it can take a little while. Like, trust me, in the beginning I didn't have as many orders as I made out, because that's the way that it works. Like, I would make dummy cakes, I would make all these, I would make cupcakes. I was saying this to someone the other day, I'd make cupcakes and I'd only make 4, but then I would pipe them, take a photo, scrape all that icing off, then I would pipe them in a different style, take a photo, scrape all that off, because then people think you've done loads of different cupcakes. And I did that the first few months last year when I was starting out, and everyone thought I was busy, and you're not. But that's what you need to do, because it's better to build up your portfolio with stuff that you're like proud of and that you've worked hard on, rather than loads of cakes that you lost money on, you didn't even get paid minimum wage for, you got paid no money for your time. Like, it's just not worth it. But like I say, in the beginning, sometimes it can take a little while for people to actually pay your prices, but it's it's not worth it, because if you think, oh, I haven't got many orders, I'm worried money wise, you're going to lose more money by taking on those orders, because you're going to spend money on the ingredients and then you're going to lose money. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword, but yeah, do not take anything. I think the lowest a cake should be, like the lowest my cakes were, even when I first started, I think it was like 35. And that was when I first started, and that was a 6-inch cake. But even that, like, that was cheap for me. Like, I wouldn't do it for any less than that. Do not undersell yourself. Jog on. Literally, like, that's so out of order. And also, I would have literally said what I just said. If I said 50 and someone said, I don't want to spend more than 20, I would either, 1, not respond, because what's the point? 2, I would go back and say, I'm sure you can find that in Tesco's, obviously in a politer way. Or 3, I would say, well, unfortunately, it's 50, like I said. So that's it, it's 50. If you don't want to pay 50, then you don't have to. I'm not forcing you. But yeah, but that's what annoys me. Like, people think it's some kind of, like, you know, when you go to the market, like, there's a market in town where I live, and you go there and they're shouting out, you know, a punnet for £5, and then someone goes up and says, will you take this? You're not, it's a business. You're not like some random person selling cakes on the street. Like, you need to earn a living, and I just hate that people barter or say, like, oh, I didn't want to spend that much, and it's like, well, that's fine, but don't say that to me. Like, my argument is, if it's too high for you, which I know everyone has a budget, but sometimes I do think that if you're thinking that you're going to get a personalised cake for £20, maybe you shouldn't be looking for a personalised cake. But there's a spectrum of budgets, but I think they need to be reasonable. Like, there should be maybe like between 30 and 80 for a cake, and obviously 80 is the highest, and then 30 or 40 is the lower end. Like, it shouldn't be ridiculously low, because it's like, if you're looking for a custom cake, you're not going to get it for that price. And if someone does do it, that's because they're obviously wanting the cake, but it's just a shame that you're putting someone out like that. You just shouldn't. I just don't understand people. I just don't understand. Like, but luckily, I think I have some kind of radar, because people just don't bother asking me if they don't have the budget. Because yeah, otherwise I'm just going to go back and either not reply or say no. She also wanted purple ombre on the inside. Are you kidding me? For £20. I add an extra for inside colour, because it's a pain, because you have to use different colourings, because certain colourings, I find that Colour Splash isn't that great for colouring sponges, so I use either Colour Mill or Sugar Flare, which are obviously more expensive. So if you want coloured sponges, you're not getting it for £20, and you're also not going to get that in Tesco's. So yeah, I don't understand people, but people try their luck. Like, she was saying, will you do it for 20, because she wanted you to do it for 20, and when by you saying no, that sort of teaches her a lesson that you're not going to get it for £20. Hi Freddie, sorry I'm late. Honestly, the cake decorating part of the video was super blurry, because I was running off 3G, which was terrible, and then the Wi-Fi was fine, so I turned off the 3G, so now we're fine. But yeah, I think you're probably not going to miss much because it was so blurry. So, but if you wait till the end of the decorating part, it wasn't blurry when I showed everyone the final cake. So you can, if you just want to skip to that bit, then you can, and then you'll see what the cake looks like. I love my coaster. Oh, thank you. Everyone's loving the coasters. Yeah, someone else got their coasters as well. Jilly got her coasters today, or I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think she got hers yesterday, and then I think you got yours yesterday as well. But yeah, everyone got their coasters yesterday. I'd like to wake up tomorrow 20 years younger and a size 12, but that's not going to happen either. You're so funny. Yeah, well, that's the thing, we can all dream. Like, I would like to, you know, not have to pay monthly for my car and still have it. Like, there's plenty of things that I'd like I'd like someone to hand me a house, but, you know, it's just not going to happen. Like, I'd like a cheap mortgage, but that's not going to happen. And if I tell them that I want it for £20 a month instead of friggin' 50, they're not going to do it, are they? So yeah, unfortunately you can't barter in most things in life, but people still seem to think that they can barter with cake makers. It baffles me. Right, for anyone that's just joined or coming back, since we're not blurry anymore, I'll give you another little once over of the little baby cake, which I love. I love it. So here we go. She's all set now, so she's not wobbly, so we can move freely. Whereas when I was showing you earlier, she was a little bit wobbly, so I had to be careful. But yeah, we've got Baileys on the top. I've left a gap here and a gap at the back for a lint ball, which I'm gonna go to Tesco's and buy in a minute. And where's the magnet from? Calendar organizer. Oh, I will have to find that out, and I'll put it in the description, or I'll put it on my story actually on Instagram, because it was a birthday present for my birthday from my sister-in-law, but I can't remember who the person was for the life of me, who actually made it. So yeah, I will let you know on that one. But this is the cake. So yes, we're going to put the topper in. There we go. So you'll be able to see. Topper could have been a bit bigger, which is annoying me, but I think it's fine. It's always hard to tell because also you're measuring it by the cake, so I didn't want it to be too big for the cake. I'd rather it be smaller and dainty than like really oversized, so I guess that's better. But yeah. Here's what it looks like. So, I've got a very early morning tomorrow, leaving at 6 AM for this wedding. So, I am going to love you and leave you, and I'm going to put this in the fridge. I need to run and get the lint balls. I'm hoping that Little Tesco's has them. So we're going to put that back in the fridge. and I've got to tidy up as well. So I think like I said, I think I'm going to go on TikTok live just while I tidy up. So feel free to come over there just because it's more like informal. So rather than doing it on here, people may be getting bored. I'm going to do it on TikTok just because I want to gain some followers on there. So I'm just going to do like clean up the boring bit on TikTok. But it's just Sweet Things by Amy, so it's the same as this. Thank you so much. Your cake looks amazing. I think you did recently. I'm very confused as to where the conversation is. Okay. Verity. You're talking to Verity. Natalie. Hi, Natalie. That looks amazing. Well done. Thank you. I've just had my first wedding cake order. The wedding isn't until next April and I'm already having palpitations. It's 3 tiers. Never tried a tier cake before and the bottom is 12-inch. The biggest I've ever baked so far is an 8-inch. Hope that I haven't bitten off more than I can chew. Honestly, it's months away. Don't worry about it. You will be like a star by that point, don't you worry. I did my first wedding cake this year, and I did it with like 3 weeks notice. Like because of all the COVID stuff and like weddings moving around, someone was like, can you do a wedding cake? And obviously I'd never done one before, so I had to set up and like deliver and all of that, which was all very stressful. But yeah, I had like 3 weeks notice. And I had never done a 3-tier cake. I'd done 2 tiers, but never 3 tiers. And they were tall tiers as well. They weren't shallow like wedding tiers. It was more of a modern cake. But yeah, I did that and I had like 3 weeks notice. So you'll be fine. You've got ages. You've got like, what is it? Like 9 months? Something like that. So you've got plenty of time. Don't worry. Don't worry yourself. And also it's good money. Like we love wedding cakes because they're stressful, but they are good money. So as a business, it's good to do wedding cakes if you can handle the pressure, which I'm sure you'll be fine because, yeah, I really like doing wedding cakes. I mean, I like weddings anyway. I do a lot of weddings with my sister because I do the hair and makeup. So I've been to so many weddings that I'm kind of just like used to it, but I'm sure you'll be fine. I don't know what to quote. So have you quoted it already or is it... What have you quoted already? My wedding cakes are from 220, something like that. Because I charge a higher hourly rate for them. Because typically I don't do anything else at the same time as a wedding cake. So that means that you're basically booking me for a day because I can't do any other orders, which is obviously a pain, but you need to kind of like have all focus on it. So like that wedding cake that I did recently, I didn't do anything else because if it goes wrong, like say something goes wrong with it, you need to have the time to be able to fix it because it's a wedding cake. It's not like a birthday cake where you could say like, instead of picking it up in the morning, can you pick it up in the evening? Like, because it's a wedding cake, it's a set time, venue, everything. So it's a lot more strict. Because I mean, I've heard like horror stories where people have delivered cakes later in the day because there's been an issue with it. But obviously a wedding, you can't do that. So yeah, I always charge a higher hourly rate. I would say 150 for a 3-tier, I would say is not enough. The way you want to do it at least is, the reason mine is over 200, because if it's a 3-tier, especially if the bottom is a 12, you got to think, my 8-inch cakes start from 60, and that's for a non-drip cake. So if it's just a non-drip cake, that's 60 for the top tier. Then it would be 70 for the 10-inch and 85 for a 12. So add that all together. That's with no flowers, no topper, nothing. And that's normal pricing. That's birthday cake pricing, which is £15 an hour. For weddings, I charge £20 an hour. And then there's the setup fee. There is the delivery, because you need to charge petrol for wherever this place is. Even if it depends. You can obviously, because it's family, you can do what you want with it. But like, I've got my brother's wedding in 2 years. So my sister-in-law is the one ordering from me, but obviously it's both their cake. And I've given them the delivery free only because I'm attending the wedding, and I'm staying overnight. So I will be staying there anyway. So the delivery is like already included because I'm already driving there. But if you are not going there for the day, then I would say to charge delivery, because petrol is something that you can't sort of do for free. Whereas if you said, right, I'm going to charge a little less on the decorating of the cake, then that just means you might get paid a little less per hour. Whereas obviously petrol, you have to buy petrol. So if you don't charge for that, then you're going to still have to buy the petrol. So if that makes sense. Whereas like if you just take less money for the whole cake overall, then you're just getting a lesser hourly rate, which means you're still not necessarily losing any money. But yeah, you want to make sure you charge for delivery if you aren't going to the wedding, or if you're like going in the evening or something. If you have to go earlier than you would normally, then yeah, you charge separately. But yes, so I know that was a really long-winded explanation. I don't know why it took me so long. But yeah, so I am going to love you and leave you, and I'm going to head over to TikTok just while I wash up and stuff, just because, like I said, it's the boring stuff that we probably don't want to leave on this live. So I'm going to do it on there, and then I'm trying to build my followers on there. So if you don't already follow me on TikTok, head over. It's Sweet Things by Amy, and make sure you follow. So yeah, see you later.